What's going on, guys? JSGC 171 here, and we're here for another video. Man City this time. This time it's not the transfer update, but instead I'm going to be doing more videos based on Man City. Now, I ran a Twitter poll before and ended up having a joint winner, two winners. The first one was predictions for Man City for the next season for 2017 and 2018. Now, I can't really do the predictions this early into July because I don't really know the squad. I don't know what teams are signing. So that video will come, but it might come in maybe 3 or 4 weeks, perhaps a month's time, when it's a bit clearer as to where teams stand with their players. And then I'll do another video doing an overall prediction for the whole of the Premier League. That prediction video is just based on Man City. At the end of the summer transfer window, I will do a video based on a few matches in the Premier League. Also, the squads are all confirmed now for the season at the end of August into September. So I'll do a full prediction then for the whole Premier League. The Man City one will come in about 4 weeks' time when I expect Man City's transfers will be completed. Until then, it's a bit difficult. So I will instead do the other winner for this video. As you can see from the title, this is a video based on my thoughts for the next season for Man City. So this is going to be just a short video based on what I think Man City should be aiming for in the transfer market, what they should be concentrating on in the competitions, how to concentrate and progress in them competitions, and what the team can do overall to achieve its objectives, and more on what Pep and the team can do. So we'll crack on. So the first thing I'm going to cover is the competitions. So League Cup and FA Cup. We'll cover the domestic cups first. Now, Man City didn't win a trophy last season, and because they didn't win a trophy last season, I think Man City do need to win a trophy this season. I think that's just fairly obvious to say. So Pep has to take the League Cup seriously this season. We got Man United away last season at Old Trafford. We put out a weakened side, young players, if you remember. They played okay, but we got beat narrowly. You know, it wasn't too concerning, but, you know, you do need a good draw in the League Cup to do well, but you've got to take it serious in case you do end up drawing any of the big teams earlier on, you know, before the quarter-final, semi-final stage. So we have to be taking that serious this year. So we need a squad that can compete on all fronts, not just in the Premier League and the Champions League, but also in the FA Cup and the League Cup too. So there's 4 competitions that they need to be concentrating on. We need to be winning one. We've not won one last season out of the 4. We've got another 4 this year. We need to be winning one. And the easiest chance for that is the League Cup. Teams don't take it as serious as other teams. So perhaps teams like Tottenham and Liverpool might not be taking it that serious as they're in the Champions League, and they might want to concentrate their focus on progressing in Europe. I wouldn't blame them at all. So Man United did take it serious last season, so Man City need to be taking it serious this season. Now, we did win it the season before that with Pellegrini, winning a penalty shootout with Willy Caballero's heroics against Liverpool. Excellent result, excellent match. Played okay, so we need to be replicating, we need to be winning stuff, and we need to give the team a taste of winning, not just finishing in the top 4 and having a taste of, you know, here's the bare minimum that you've achieved. They need to be winning trophies. So we need to be taking every trophy seriously. If we're going to take the League Cup serious and we don't win it, then we need to be going in at the FA Cup too. Now the good thing is the League Cup semi-final stages are in January. I think it might be just before or just after the FA Cup 3rd round. So we'll ish know where we stand. So if Man City can get to the semi-final of the League Cup, for example, and they see they've got a kind draw for the 3rd round of the FA Cup, they might be able to take the foot off the gas a little bit for the FA Cup 3rd round and put their sole focus into the League Cup. Football doesn't always work like that, though, so they do need to improve on their squad, the squad depth, and be able to concentrate properly on the competition. So Man City have to take them serious this season. Putting out weakened sides when we come up against big teams in the Premier League, in the League Cup, just isn't good enough this season. We didn't win anything last season. We need to be winning stuff this season. Simple as that. That's what the Man City board demands. Pep knows this. The fans know this. Everybody knows this, so they need to be delivering. Now, with the Premier League's very difficult. Whilst you're in Europe, it comes a bit of a hindrance. It comes very difficult to win the Premier League. Look at the previous 2 seasons. Leicester have not had any European football, did so well, won the Premier League. Chelsea didn't have any European football last season, did so well, won the Premier League. Now, Tottenham have played so well for the large majority of both of them seasons, ended up finishing 2nd and 3rd. You know, so it's very difficult, the Premier League, to win it. So you need to have, you need to be really focused on it. So exiting out of Europe early is actually doing a favour to any of the English clubs if they do go out the Champions League or Europa League early. So we'll have to see into the season how that one goes, because if any team gets off to a fast start but doesn't do so well in Europe, they might be my favourites to win the Premier League. There's just so many matches. Every match in the Premier League is just a challenge. It's physically dominating. It's really bad. Not bad in quality, but it's not great for having the teams do well in Europe, because it's kind of like you need to be doing well in the Premier League to get into Europe. Then you're in Europe, and you need to be doing well in the Premier League to make sure you're back in Europe next season, rather than focusing on being in Europe. Leicester did so well in the Champions League last season because there's just no pressure on them. They weren't doing too great in the Premier League, so they thought, why not concentrate on the Champions League? And they did so well. So I think the Premier League teams need to kind of get a grip of doing well in the Premier League and doing well in the Champions League. And the only one way to do that, and that's just playing in the Champions League every season, season after season, consistently getting better and better and better, and having a strong overall squad depth. And I've seen a few managers that are insistent on having two teams, Team A, Team B, that can compete. Man City are doing the same. They're looking for Team A and Team B. There's so many Twitter profiles out there that have people predicting Man City's Team A and Team B. You know, so that I think that's a direction that Man City are generally looking towards. Looking to having 22 to 23 core players of the squad, then just having a couple of youngsters dotted around to make up the homegrown status. So that's the direction that Man City are going under. So to do well in the Premier League, they need to have their rotation spot on, and they need to have their actual tactics spot on. They can't afford to be playing high lines and sloppy passing against teams that are so well at picking off teams, having one or two chances and scoring the goals. You can't be doing it. You need to cut out the mistakes. So they need to know when to play certain formations. So if they want to play 3 at centre-back and 2 out wide, so a 5 at the back, then they need to pick the right matches for that to work in. So, for example, they don't want to be going in with 4 in midfield, for example, against a team that's playing 5 in midfield, because they're just going to get overwhelmed in midfield. Man City like to dominate the possession, so they need to stick to that and cut out the mistakes. If they cut out the mistakes, I'm hoping then that confidence will come in, they'll find the net, and hopefully results will follow with it. We saw at the beginning of the last season, confidence was a big key factor. They got result after result after result, some of them scrappy, some of them excellent, and at times they were playing mesmerising football, so they need to pick up that momentum again this season and kick on. There's teams like they struggle against, like Chelsea and Tottenham, that they really did struggle against, so they need to get to grips with teams that are going to be up there. And I'm putting all the trust in Pep, that Pep knows what he's doing. I presume we're going to be playing the same style of football again next season. So if they're going to be playing the same style of play, they're going to be playing the same style of play again. You can rest assured that they're going to have their finishing boots on. So Man City needs to do the same and cut out the mistakes. Until their mistakes are cut out, you won't be winning the Premier League. And they need to just overall stop being sloppy. And when they get given an opportunity, put the ball in the net. Simple as that. And the Champions League, the last one. Now, to win the Champions League, you need to have an excellent side that just performs so consistently on a top level every game. Whether you're playing someone like Victoria Plzen, whether you're playing someone like Celtic at home or away, or you're playing Barcelona at the Nou Camp, you need to have that consistent basis where you're playing well every single game. And the only way to do that is having class players, and them class players turning up in the Champions League. Champions League is all about quality. This is why the Spanish Giants do so well. Their teams are plagued full of quality. Quality players that turn up in the big games and score the big goals. That's why Man City are after Dani Alves. Dani Alves isn't going to be Man City's consistent right back for every single game this season. Dani Alves is there because you know when you put him on the pitch, particularly in the Champions League, you know he will deliver. He did it every game for Juventus last season in the Champions League. Every game. So he's signed for Man City. That's why he's there. And they need more players to turn up in the big games, in the big moments, score the big goals. They've got young players like Sane, Sterling and Jesus that need to kind of mature their level, come in and perform more consistency. Leroy Sane is the perfect example of that. Such an excellent player, one of the best in the league if he performs on his day. And he needs to do it every game. He does it every game, he'll become a world-class player. He's not there yet. Next season could be his season, as long as his season remains injury-free and we don't start signing players in his position and start rotating him. Leroy Sane started over 20 matches consecutively, and because he did that, he performed so well. We need to do that in the Champions League as well. Enough of this changing 4 or 5 players per game. I know it's a rotated system. Do it sometimes, don't do it always. If the team's playing well and the team's winning and the team's scoring goals and they're not making mistakes, you stick to the team. I'm not telling Pep what to do, but if it goes wrong, you're going to get blamed. So you may as well kind of stick to that's worked, and if you see that it's not working, don't be scared to make changes after 20-30 minutes. Mancini was renowned for it at Man City, making early changes if we saw it wasn't working, and just go for it. I mean, good examples of that was Leicester when we were 3-0 down after like 18 minutes away from home. It was just clear after the second goal went in after 10 minutes that it wasn't working. The formation should have been changed. The players on should have been changed to suited more towards the game and could contain Leicester and stop them scoring. Because we all knew that if Man City could get a goal, they'd be back into the game and Leicester might back off. But instead, they stuck to it. They said, here we go, this is what we're going to be playing. And we ended up conceding a third and ended up losing 4-2. Celtic away is another example where they were so insistent on playing that one way and sticking to the team and sticking with what he's put out that we ended up having a bad result, drawing 3-3, which in the end wasn't so bad a result. We ended up going through in the Champions League. However, we're scoring 3 goals away from home in the Champions League. You should be winning. Simple as that. Now, the last example I have for that is actually the match where we went out in the Champions League against Monaco. It was so clear that it wasn't working. We were 2-0 down at half-time. Pep changed everything up. He realised that we needed to send someone just in a little bit deeper, so he sent De Bruyne. It really worked. De Bruyne ended up excelling into the game. We got back into the game, got to 2-1. We were going through, got conceded a set piece. Bakayoko scored. We went out. Simple mistakes like that. You need to just improve on the marking. I think it was Kolarov that missed a header. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, please. But I think he missed a header and they ended up scoring. So it's little mistakes like that they need to cut out. And on the manager's front, they need to, if they're recognising that it's not going right, don't leave it for 45 minutes. If it's not working after 10 or 15 minutes, change it up, because this is a fast developing competition, the Champions League. So is the Premier League. So to compete in them, you need to recognise that things aren't working and really adapt to the game as quickly as possible. So we need to improve on our quality before we can start thinking about trophies. I would be personally happy if Man City win a trophy next year and finish in the top 3 again. I think that's a little bit of progress to be made. That's only if Pep Guardiola agrees to sign a new contract, though, so I can see progress season after season. Because I think if Pep's only going to be here till next season, so that's the end of the 2018-19 season, then we need to be winning the Premier League at least once, which means we're under a lot of pressure this season to win the Premier League. Obviously, we won the Premier League under Mancini, we won it under Pellegrini, so Pep Guardiola really does need to be winning a Premier League as well, if I'm completely honest with you, and he's got 2 seasons to put that right. So we need some good signings. So that's my thoughts on the season. I think we do need to improve on, obviously, our wing-backs. We need new left-backs and right-backs. I don't think we're going to be signing 4 wing-backs. If I'm honest with you, I think Dani Alves is a shored-up deal. I think Benjamin Mendy is probably a shored-up deal as well. So in my opinion, I think it's just a toss-up between signing Kyle Walker for £50-odd million, or whether we want to go and pursue and sign Ryan Bertrand for maybe £20-25 million. I expect that we'll sign one of them. I don't expect we'll sign both. Maybe in January we'll sign another left or right back, but I think they'll just rotate the squad. Play players like Kolarov, Stones can play at right back. Fernandinho and Del can all play there as well. Fernandinho can slot in at centre-back, so can Yaya, so I think they'll be doing that. I don't expect we'll be signing a centre-back, but I think that might change, particularly in August if Vincent Kompany does get an injury or gets one in pre-season. But if he can stay fit and see where we go up towards Christmas period, then hopefully the squad will be okay. I think if Vincent Kompany stays injury-free, it's like having a new signing, and Man City's defence all of a sudden will look a lot more solid like it did towards the end of last season. So Vincent Kompany does hold a key here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that he is over his injury crisis. That's where Man City's season is defined. Now, we don't know how good Edison is, so I'll wait and reserve a judgment. Hopefully, he'll be a solid keeper. Then beautiful big kicks that he does, I'm really looking forward to them. When the teams really want to push up and stop Man City passing, does a massive kick. If the strikers and the attackers can stay on side and sort out the control, the first time touch, wow, what an attacking opportunity that will be. Really excited. So hopefully he can make saves. And hopefully Bravo, when he gets given his chance, hopefully the Confederation Cup, Golden Glove and getting to the final will do him a world of good, that he'll come back, be rejuvenated, and we'll see the best of Claudio Bravo as well, because I don't think we've seen the best. He struggled in his first season, like Caballero. Caballero won our hearts for the League Cup. Claudio Bravo needs his moment. Is the Confederation Cup his moment to burst his confidence? We'll see. Now, I expect Man City will be signing one more attacker who've been heavily linked with Alexis Sanchez. That deal's it's still no closer to being done than what it was the previous 3 or 4 weeks, so we'll wait for that. Are we going to sign a striker who've been linked with Aubameyang? Not really. I think, and this is what I think, the transfers are all being delayed because we're waiting to sell players. We've still got players like Nazari, Boney, Hart, Mangala, Dania. They're all still at Man City. They need selling. We need rid of the wage. We need the transfer fees. It gets the financial fair play out of the window. We've got some money there then to really invest in the squad. So until that happens, I don't think we'll be spending much money. We might sign 1 or 2 players, but certainly not 4 or 5 that we'll probably sign by the end of the window. Them deals need to happen, and hopefully they'll happen soon, so I'll have them to discuss in my transfer update. Don't forget to check them videos out too. This has been a very enjoyable speech for me. This has been just my thoughts on the upcoming season, on what Man City need to do to be successful this season. We'll do a prediction next month as per the Twitter poll. We'll also do a Premier League prediction at the end of August when I have a rough idea what the squads and how the teams are playing. And we'll have a rough reflection on that. Don't forget to look out for the EFL, Championship, League 1, League 2 transfer updates as well, and predictions. They'll be coming up in a couple of weeks actually. I'm hoping to get them done very soon, so keep an eye out for them. Lots more football content coming up, so don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here, and don't forget to smash the like button too if you like the video. So this has been JSGC 171. Hope you all have a nice day. Peace. Ciao for now.